Become what you believe. Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we have learnt about homeostasis, diffusion, and osmosis. In today's session, we are going to talk about osmoregulation, cellular respiration, and metabolism. First, let us see about osmoregulation. The term osmoregulation was coined by Hopper in 1902. Osmoregulation is nothing but it is a process by which an organism regulates the water balance in its body and maintains the homeostasis of the body. This osmoregulation divided into two types based on its organisms. They are osmoconformers and osmoregulators. Today we are going to discuss about the osmoregulation in fish. Osmoconformers, these organisms try to maintain the osmolality of their body matching with their surroundings. Most of the invertebrates, marine organisms are osmoconformers. Here, marine organisms means they will be getting more amount of salt inside the body. So, when we see the first picture, we can able to understand the water losses by osmosis. It drinks more amount of seawater, so the body will be getting more amount of salt. So, it needs to excrete out the salt which is unwanted. Yes. So, what the fish living in the marine will be doing means to conserve fluids, it produces very little urine. Then, in osmoregulators, these organisms maintain their internal osmolality, which can be extremely different from that of the surrounding environment through physiological process. So, here in the second picture, the freshwater fish they have given. So, opposite to that of the osmoconformers, it will be gaining the water by osmosis. They urinates large amount of the dilute urine. It absorbs the salt by gills. Does not drink more amount of water. Next, we are moving on to cellular respiration. Why is cellular respiration important? It is important because it is a process by which organisms break down glucose into a form of cells can use as energy. This energy is then made available to living cells in the form of ATP. So, plants produce carbohydrates like glucose through photosynthesis. These glucose are break down into ATP, which is the usable energy molecules of the cell. Where does it happen? Cellular respiration occurs in mitochondria, a complex set of reactions and processes that convert organic compound into adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP. The mitochondria take in oxygen and glucose and produce water, CO2 and lots of ATP. These ATPs are giving the energy for our body. In cellular respiration, we have two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, the food substances are completely oxidized into H2O. So, it will be producing carbon dioxide, water and energy. In anaerobic respiration, partial oxidation of food takes place and the organism releases energy in the absence of oxygen. This type of respiration occurs in organisms like yeast. We know that photosynthesis needs sunlight. The plants intake CO2 and H2O. that produce glucose. In cellular respiration, glucose and oxygen is converted into CO2 and water. These are called opposite reactions. In aerobic respiration, glucose and oxygen converted into CO2 and water. It requiring oxygen, but in anaerobic respiration or not requiring oxygen. Next, we are moving on to metabolism. Metabolism is the sum of all life-sustaining chemical reactions within the cell of living organisms. Metabolism, the sum of chemical reactions that takes place in living things. Metabolism, it is a controlled chemical reaction that occurs inside a cell. Metabolism consists of anabolism and catabolism. Catabolism, it is also called catabolic reaction, and anabolism, it is also called anabolic reaction. In anabolism, this is the constructive metabolism, is all about building and storing. During anabolism, small molecules are changed into larger, more complex molecules of carbohydrate, protein and fat. Here, the small simple amino acids are getting converted into large complex keratin. Likewise, the glycogen or starch is converting into glucose. Next, in catabolism, it is a destructive metabolism. It is the process that produces the energy required for all activity in the cell. In this process, cells break down large molecules to release energy. This energy release provides fuel for anabolism, keeps the body and enables the muscles to contract and the body to move. Here, the larger complex protein, it is converting into small simple amino acids. Likewise, lipids to fatty acids, glucose to pyruvate. The repeat anabolism and catabolism reactions maintain the homeostatic conditions in the organisms. The metabolic process is the cause for maintaining ionic balance in the body. It is also responsible for movement, growth, development, maintenance and repair of the cells, tissues and the human body. These metabolic reaction occurs in different organs of living species. That's all today's class. Thank you, dear students.